London Tube carries over 3 million people through 275 stations every day. It's the oldest and one of the largest tube networks in the world. It's one of the most reliable and safe ways to travel. But what happens if something does go wrong? Just 3 weeks before the first terrorist attack on the tube, London Underground carried out its annual major training exercise to test the capabilities of all the emergency services in the event of a serious incident. The exercise, codenamed Dartboard, is taking place on the District Line at Tower Hill Station.
Staff, let them know how many members of your crew here, please.
We've got observers, umpires and safety officers from each of the agencies here. And I do appreciate that each of you will be watching something particular to your own agency.
In addition to the more well-known services, fire, ambulance, police, British Transport Police, the Emergency Response Unit, or ERU, has a crucial role to play. Their manager is Darren Hillier.
Basically, they should act as if it's a real incident, i.e. that they turn up, they make themselves known to the London Fire Brigade, to the LAS, London Ambulance Service, to make sure that they go through what happens in a real incident. I'll be becoming the umpire now to ensure that what happens is believable, if you know what I mean. You know, I don't want them to come in and start acting up. You know, it's just for the sake of an exercise. It's what they do normally.
Yes, mate.
The ERU are the flying squad of the tube service, responding immediately to problems with the track, tunnels, and even passengers who've fallen under a train.
Well, the scenario is that the train's come into the Bay Road, gone through into the buffer. However, because we can't get the train literally down into the buffer, we've built a simulated buffer stop just out of sleepers and wood and put a tarp over to denote darkness, to allow some form of simulation. The driver, for some reason, has become incapacitated and he's gone through and hit the buffer, and also during the train crash, a person has actually fallen under the train wheels through the interconnecting doors. As he's fallen down, the train wheels have rode over the top of him, trapping his arm and his leg. There was going to be numerous casualties on board as well, so we should get a wide range of casualties to enable emergency services basically to practice what would happen in a real-life scenario.
We've got nothing on the sheet.
Any volunteers that have not got the briefing yet? Follow into the briefing room, please.
These volunteers are going to play the role of passengers on the incident train.
Firstly, when we're going to start the exercise, which will be around about 11 o'clock, the word Start X will be used. Should we need to stop the incident for a short period of time for any reason at all, we will use the word hold.
Yeah.
I've got a severe facial injury and I've got a fractured pelvis and a chest injury, which has got bruising at the back from.
Okay, can I have your attention, please? My name's Martin Finch, I'm the safety officer from London Underground. When you're down there, there'll be exercise staff, an exercise director, assistant director, safety officers like myself, various agencies coming down. Part of the exercise itself, you'll be directed by the exercise staff and safety officers. Later in the exercise, you'll be dealing with the ambulance service who will be doing the appropriate work that they need to on casualties like yourself.
Right, I'm Bob Thurgood, I'm the General Manager of the District Line, but I thought it would be good if I took the part of a customer to see it from the other side, so to call.
The casualties are all volunteers, are they? Staff?
There's two groups actually. Volunteers are just uninjured people. Most of them are staff or relative to staff. Yeah. We do have some younger children. We have some mobility impaired people as well coming down to make it a realistic incident. Yeah.
There are some occasions when the British Transport Police know there might be some sort of incident, and special preventative measures must be taken.
Right, Champions League semi-final, West Ham versus Liverpool. It's wishful thinking on my part, it's actually Chelsea versus Liverpool.
Inspector Ray Jiggins of the British Transport Police is in charge of crowd control at one of the season's biggest fixtures.
Firm but fair policing. Other than that, get yourselves ready, start making your way to Fulham Broadway and I will see you there. No problems at all, it's neither football night, it's going to be busy. Listening to the radio, we've got 300 Liverpool fans at Trafalgar Square at the moment. They're not causing any problems, but moving 300 football fans en masse can cause a number of logistical problems.
Ray's worried about one large group of rowdy Liverpool fans who will be arriving later. At the moment, he's keeping an eye on thousands of Chelsea supporters.
What you've got there is just one train load. It's just one train load.
About 30,000 football fans will be pouring through Fulham Broadway. The Liverpool fans are just starting to arrive.
Right, the next big thing we've got is 60 to 70 Liverpool fans that should be on the next train. 60 to 70 noisy Liverpool in the last two carriages. So hopefully, just like Christmas, we're waiting for it to turn up.
At Tower Hill, the waiting's over, and it's time for exercise Dartboard to start.
Yeah, keep kicking off.
The emergency services have to react as fast as possible to rescue the trapped volunteers.
Base to all staff, we have an emergency. We have train 155 has crashed into the buffers. There are many injured.
The volunteers have been told to act dramatically, so the exercise is as realistic as possible.
The ambulance service is on its way.
They need to be here now.
Yeah, I know, we're going to get them as soon as we can. We're going to get them down there, all right? I've got other passengers to deal with.
She needs help now.
Right, I'll get someone.
She really needs help now.
I'll get someone down here as soon as possible. Yeah, you'll be the first ones when they come, okay?
Hey sweetheart, what's your name? He said he was able to walk, but because of the impact was so...
Yes, I need an ETA from the ambulance service. We've got a person under the train. Can you give me an ETA? Over.
Train's crashed. The driver is unconscious. There's one patient underneath the back of the train. Train service has been stopped. Power's off. LFB are here. Police are here. There are unknown numbers of casualties. I've declared an incident. You're going to make a detailed report to them because you've been down to have a look. Is that okay?
Role-playing isn't just going on at Tower Hill. Phil O'Hare is the performance manager of the entire Central Line. But he's playing another role today. He's a judge in the annual London Underground gardening competition. And he'll soon be on his way to the unlikely setting of Bermondsey, where Syed Utmani has added an unusual touch.
That's the fig tree. I planted it last year. It's exotic, and lots of people don't know where figs come from and what do they look like. And hopefully this year I'll be able to eat some of it. We never win the gardening competition. I think we came third last year on London Underground. Maybe we need more fig trees everywhere.
So they're nice and firm, and kind of you look at the kind of, you know, there's no wilt. The colour coordination actually with, you know, the lovely green trees outside is just for me it's bringing that relationship, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that's intentional.
So how much would you score about them?
Excuse me, do you have a moment? Okay. Have you ever noticed the flowers behind you? You haven't?
Because I'm always in a hurry.
So if I was to say, you know, in terms of the impact on you, how did it make you feel, what would you say out of 10?
Happy.
Happy?
Yeah.
Put a mark out of 10.
8.
I'd give them a good 6.5.
Thank you. And yourself?
I would say 7.
So from the customers, we got a 9, an 8, a 6.5, and a 7. And so I'd call that an 8.
Okay.
Bermondsey may be an unusual contender in the garden competition, but Mohammed Jamil's trackside gardens at Edgware Road are even more surprising.
Well, what we're doing is planting now. They should come up next couple of weeks. And this lining we put in, but it's not finished yet. I have to tuck it in so it doesn't show when people are looking at it, because like this, it doesn't look very nice. But we did it earlier, but we're going to tidy it up properly. This flower is really beautiful. You can imagine the size of one petal. So it's just one petal alone. That's about 4 inches long. When it's completely open, that goes about 9 inches.
Mohammed's on his way to his ticket hall gardens to make final preparations for the judges. At Tower Hill, the pressure to perform well is intense at exercise Dartboard. and any lapses will be picked up by the umpires.
In that carriage, there was 2 priority 1s, and 2 priority 2s.
I got that.
You got that?
The casualties are prioritised according to the severity of their injuries. Time is of the essence.
Priority 1.
We were evacuated in 6 minutes. There's always a feeling as though you don't know what's going on and there's a lack of information and there's people walking about. But we were evacuated. We then asked for directions to Liverpool Street, and we got those without too much difficulty.
Yeah. Guys, we've got a hold X call to hold the exercise here. I'm not sure why at the moment. Someone's called it.
There's a problem. Something hasn't gone to plan, and the major training exercise has been brought to a halt.
But he said at the moment, because of the crime scene, hang tight.